In this lesson, we will attempt to look at the different types of nouns that we have. There are about 8 types or more, but our focus for this lesson will be on only 4 of them, namely the proper nouns, the common nouns, the collective nouns, and then the compound nouns. Take note of that. We hope by the end of the lesson, we'll be able to explain these types of nouns, give some examples, and most importantly, look at how we can use them when we are writing our materials in the organization. Now let's begin with proper nouns. When we say proper nouns, we are talking about names of human beings, places, cities, countries, continents, specific places, specific events, and specific occasions. So you come to realize that the names of human beings like Kofi, Ya, Ama, names of festivals, Homowo, Obechocho, Abuachiri, Ojura, and Co. are all proper nouns. We have Kumasi Sports Stadium, Accra Sports Stadium, the National Theatre, and the like are all what proper nouns. Now what we need to know is that when we are using proper nouns in our write-up, anytime we see it, the first letter must be capitalized. So take note of that. You can see those examples in the illustration that has been done. We will go to Tema tomorrow. Tema is a proper noun. So though it's in the middle of the sentence, the first letter is capital. We have the match was played at Kumasi Sports Stadium. Kumasi Sports Stadium is a proper noun. So each of the first letters in the 3 words are spelled with capital letters. The same applies to the underlined examples in example C. Now let's look at common nouns. Common nouns are mainly the exact opposite of proper nouns. In fact, they are not names of human beings, but they are names of things that we have a lot of its kind. So the names of animals, names of the things we use in our offices, names of things in our house, and things around us are all what common nouns. We need to know that, unlike proper nouns, we don't write a common noun with a capital letter. Take note. It's only when the common noun begins a sentence that is where we can write it with a capital letter that begins it. Some examples of common nouns are pen, pencil, table, chairs, eraser, pen drive, and so forth and so forth. Now look at the illustration, the examples there. I want to buy that chair. Chair is an example of a common noun that has been underlined and begins with a small letter. Teachers must be respected in our society. Teachers is a common noun, but because it begins a sentence, we are writing it what? A capital letter that begins it. Now, Kofi knows the teacher. In the example C, the teacher ends the sentence, so it cannot be begun with a capital letter because it's a common noun. So take note. Wherever you see a common noun, the first number is a small letter, except that it is starting a sentence, or it's coming after a full stop, so to say. Now look at collective nouns. Look at the name collective, it refers to a group. So collective nouns are the names of things, are the names that will give the things in a group. So when you mention, for example, jury, you are talking about a group of what? Lawyers. You mention bench, it's a group of judges. You mention clergy, it's a group of ministers. You mention audience, it's a group of what? People watching the play. So you must be mindful of the fact that the collective noun stands in for the group of people or things in that category. Take note of that. Also, what we need to know is the fact that now, when you are writing a sentence using a collective noun, you can attach a singular or a plural verb to it. So, example like the jury is not biased. Jury is a collective noun, but it takes the verb is. You have the spectators are good. Spectators, collective noun, it takes the verb are. We have my team has been suspended. Team is a collective noun, but it goes with the verb has. So it is not all the case that you have collective noun taking plural verbs. They can take singular verbs as well, as you can see in the examples noted in the illustration. Then finally, I want to look at the compound nouns. Compound nouns are names of things. But in this case, you can have 2 nouns coming together to form that particular name or noun. We can have a noun plus an adjective, or a noun plus a position plus another noun. So basically, the compound nouns are names of things that the names are more than one. It can be 2 words, 3 words. Take note of that. Now, some of these compound nouns are hyphenated. When I say hyphenated, it means that the first word will come, a hyphen will follow, and the third word will come. Some examples of these words are mother-in-law, father-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, bylaws, commander-in-chief, state of the art, and so forth and so forth. Now, what is very important about these nouns is how we form their plurals. It will be noted that in forming the plurals of compound nouns, you have to make sure that you identify the most important noun or word in that category. So is that important, or what to note noun in the pair or set that will take the suffix s. So when you look at example like brother-in-law, the singular, the plural will be brothers-in-law, because the brother is the most important to the focus of that noun. So you can't say brother-in-laws, it's brothers-in-law. The same applies to sister-in-law, who gets sisters-in-law. We have bylaw, we have bylaws. You can't say bylaw, no. Because in the bylaw, if the word law, that is the focus of that particular compound noun. So take note of that. We have friends in Christ. Friend in Christ, friends in Christ. Take note of that. So as we wrap up briefly on this lesson, we are saying that it is not enough knowing that we have compound noun, we have collective noun, we have common noun, we have proper noun. No. What we need to know is that as people who are going to communicate within an organization by writing, we write minutes, we write adverts, we write letters, we write correspondence, we write tributes. We should note that it is in writing these materials that we have to apply these types of nouns and how they are used in them. So our focus is on how we use them as communicators and not necessarily knowing their types and giving examples. It is good to do that, but our focus should be on the usage. So when you are writing in our organizations, we don't make mistakes in doing that. I hope to see you next time as we pick the other four types of nouns that are left. That's the countable, the uncountable, the abstract, concrete nouns, and there may be some subs under them. Thank you so much, and I hope to get a feedback from you. Thank you.